Hi, everybody, and welcome to the KubeStellar community meeting. Today is June 13th, 2024. Today we'll be discussing some of the new events that are happening here in the KubeStellar community, as well as some of the calls for proposal that we've been putting out for consideration by the KubeCon and CNCF. Okay, so we abide by a contributor code of conduct, and I'll read that in just a second. But if you're looking to join us and add your name to be listed here as a participant, please go to kubestellar.io/join us. You can either use an underscore for join us or not. If you want to see previous versions of this or versions of this community meeting up on our YouTube channel, go to kubestellar.io/TV. All right, so let's get started. As contributors and maintainers in the CNCF community and in the interest of fostering an open and welcoming community, we pledge to respect all people who contribute through reporting issues, posting feature requests, updating documentation, submitting pull requests or patches, and other activities. We're committed to making participation in the CNCF community a harassment-free experience for everyone, regardless of level of experience, gender identity and expression, sexual orientation, disability, personal appearance, body size, race, ethnicity, age, religion, or nationality. Basically, that just means be nice to each other, please, while you're on this call. And it's a general rule. It's good to have that all around you at all times. If you've joined the call and you have your video on and you don't want it on, please turn it off now. It is being recorded. If you want to speak during the call, again, it's going to be recorded. So either speak or don't speak based on that. Okay, so please add your name to our attendee list if you haven't done so already, and we'll get started. All right. So the YouTube channel, just FYI, I'll take that off this list for next week. We did get ownership privileges back for it, and it was tied to the wrong ID, an ID that had previously been valid but is no longer. So that's all safe and sound. All of our content has been saved, and there's no need to worry about the YouTube channel any further. So we should be in good shape there. Updates on Helm. I know we've been in alpha release for some time. Franco is not with us today, so he can't give us any updates on that. But suffice it to say that you should be able to work with the alpha release that's posted on our in our source control. And I believe that documentation is in progress, if not already. Does anybody know if the documentation has been surfaced to KubeStellar.io or if it's still in source control for the Helm?
It is not and will not, according to our current theory of operating documents. What we're doing instead is producing a release. I hope to have the release candidate PR approved any minute now. We should get the second release candidate out today, and if it works, we can go to regular release on that.
Okay. All right. For those folks that are joining from the intern program, IFOS, just stay tuned. Right now, you'll have documentation that's in the source control at github.com/kubestellars/kubestellar for the Helm installation process. And that will be surfaced to kubestellar.io's documentation, official documentation, and we hope within the next 24 to 48 hours. So if you're following along, hopefully there'll be a release and that will make its way into documentation. All right. Any questions right now on Helm packaging or documentation updates reflecting the same? Okay, moving on. Performance testing. Braulio, you're here, so why don't you give us an update?
Sure. I have been working with Mike on the performance test, and Mike has instrumented our controllers to collect the metrics that we want to target on this performance test. And I have an experiment with our controllers collecting to test acquiring the metrics and pprof endpoints. And was able to successfully collected data from our controllers. And also discussing with Mike, he made some great comments on the scalability reports. So I listed the metrics that we want to collect both from our controllers and from the API and from the API servers in the KubeStellar control plane. And I identified some gaps for the metrics that we want to collect. So for some of the KubeStellar controllers, those are more precisely the status controller, status add-on, and the KubeStellar controller. And I discussed with Mike, and this is due more, and also Mike has open issue. This is due more that those controllers they're built use the controller runtime and not exposing those metrics. But the goal is to move away from controller runtime, move to client to go. So those metrics are gonna be exposed we're gonna be exposed later when we need transition from using controller and runtime. And also Mike, so I responded to all your comments on the document for the scalability report. So yeah, let me know if you have any more comments. And the one thing that feedback that Mike provided that I'm starting to look at is to see if we need to look at the API priority and fairness and see if we need to configure that in our scalability report per se. And lastly, one thing that I started looking is also to look at the OCM, because OCM is the transport layer. So I want to understand how to configure and better tuning OCM to handle the scale that we wanna do, that we are planning to conduct in our experiments. This is all I want to share. So I don't know, Mike, if you have anything you'd like to add.
No, not yet.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Thank you for the update. Any questions for Braulio? Okay. Franco, that's cute. Are you now an intern? If anybody's watching along, Franco just logged in and made himself an intern. All right. Anyway, summarization work is underway for combined status. How where are we with this? I don't see anybody out there that represents the work directly. So Mike, do you have any updates there?
It's in progress. Maroon and Andre are working on it.
Okay, very good. All right. Paolo, any updates on KFP from integration with KFP Community? Anything new there?
Sorry, was on mute. Sorry, was on mute. Not really. We submitted together with some of the folks that are part of the KFP community Red Hat a joint presentation for the KubeCon North America in November, and also for the associated event on Cloud Native AI. That is the first day, actually pre-conference event. And yeah, that's pretty much where we are, and we hope to continue the discussion with the Kubeflow community on enabling multi-cluster. I think that there was some interest, from what we understand, in the community to look at those kinds of scenarios.
Okay. Very good. Update on this also for OpenSource Summit in Europe, and this is in Austria. It's in about 3 months' time. It'll take place. They went ahead and released the schedule, Our talk for leveraging Kubeflow pipelines, Argo workflows, and KubeStellar for AI data preprocessing at scale was not included in that schedule. However, I did not get a declination yet, so I'm assuming we are either waitlisted. I don't think that we've been accepted, so just FYI there. All right. All right, interns for open source. So we've got now a total of 7 folks that are working with us over the course of a 10-week program. We're in about week 4 or so, and they've made really good progress in terms of learning and understanding Kubernetes and deploying things across Kubernetes, installing multiple clusters locally, and also working on things like productivity hacks and, in order to be able to see things like your context while you're working inside of a terminal session. So a lot of the work that we've been doing so far is to get everybody on equal footing in terms of productivity and flexibility, understanding Kubernetes and installing clusters. And the next step they're in the midst of right now, and I have some office hours this afternoon to go over. And hopefully some of them have attempted to make inroads in working with KubeStellar and installing it on a single cluster on their local environment. And that will represent the KubeStellar core. And the next step would be to then deploy an application across KubeStellar to 1 or 2, hopefully 2 remote clusters, and then be able to expose the ports that are necessary on those clusters in order to see what application you've exposed. So that'll include setting down some application, and then of course configuring some kind of ingress on the remote clusters. So right where we are now, I would say in terms of getting along that journey is we're just starting to break the surface in terms of working with Helm and KubeStellar right now, or across most of the interns that are involved in the program. Anything that any of the folks in the program would like to say at this point, feel free to jump in. Okay. All right. I see there's a question out there from Franco.
So if appropriate or useful, if you invite me on some of these meetings, I can listen in, maybe get some direct feedback. I know that eventually they're going to submit PRs and issues and stuff like that. Maybe I can have a sense of what's going on. I can be an ambassador.
Yeah, if you're available today, I can get you in on the office hours. It's not at 11, it's at noon.
Okay, sure. So if you send me an invite, I'm not in the building, but
yeah, neither am I. Okay, very good. I'll send it to you. Thank you. All right. Also, all right. So, any new blog posts from anybody here? I still have Paolo's most recent one listed. Have any of the folks from the IFOS program posted any new blogs that they'd like to promote here? If so, please, at any given time when you have something to promote, please put it here, and then we'll add that to our reading list. All right. KubeDay Japan. We're still waiting on hearing if we've been accepted or not. I believe we get the notice at the end of this week, and that CFP has also been submitted to KubeCon North America prior to deadline. So we should know more about that next week. KubeCon North America, if you haven't done so already and you plan on attending, I do believe we'll have a number of opportunities for KubeStellar to show things like, I'm sure we'll be in the partner pavilion again. There has not been a call for those folks yet for that opportunity, but I'm sure that at a minimum we'll have that. But as you can see, we have anywhere between, depending on how you're counting, 8 or 9 different CFPs that have been inserted. Paolo has been working on the Argo workflows, working in multi-cluster mode. And he's also got an AI day where KFP integration, the same talk as one above. There's a day that takes place for pre-conference attendees. They can attend something called AI Day. There are other days that are also available. I think there's one on platform engineering. There is a specific conference, I believe, also for continuous delivery. So there's a bunch of other conferences, and apparently from in talking with Paulo, he's mentioned that even if you've submitted your CFP to the original core conference, which is the CNCF runs, which is called KubeCon. There's also these pre-conference days, a full 24-hour, well, a full 8-hour day that takes place before the regular conference opens. Usually it's early in the week. And the regular conference takes place in the latter half of the week. So these conferences, if you attend them and if you buy an extra, I guess there's an extra fee for that. Most of these have extra fees for those. And then you can attend these pre-conference days where there's specializations. And this one in particular is for AI, and there's others. So you can apparently, without any kind of penalty, submit a talk that you've already given for a CFP for the regular main KubeCon conference. You can also submit it to a pre-conference without there being any, I guess there's no real cross-checking or any penalty to say, well, because you gave it at the pre-conference, you can't give it at the main conference. So because there's a specializations, that gives you now 3 chances to get your three or more chances to get your CFP recognized and potentially accepted. The first is, of course, applying to CNCF, and that deadline has passed for the main conference. If you've checked off the box that says I would be okay with being a lightning talk, that's another chance at getting your CFP accepted. And then, of course, any one of these days that are pre-conference, you may apply to that one as well. So you have 3 or more chances to get any particular topic you'd like or talk posted. Yes, Paolo. Paolo, you're on mute still.
Just a reminder that there is still time to apply for the CFP for one of those pre-conference events. It's actually November 12th, the events, and the deadline is July 14th. So there is still time if anybody wants to submit. At least there are 2 tracks that could be relevant for us. One is AI engineer, AI kind of track, and the other is platform engineering kind of track. And they will be happening pretty much the day before the main event, so November 12th, and the main event starts on November 13th.
Right.
So
The only 2 days that are available is AI Day and platform engineering.
No, there are others. There is observability. There are several actually. I don't know if you have the link.
This, I see Istio Day, Kubernetes.
Yeah, those are all the events in that pre-event, collocated events. So there are several, right? There are talks we like to submit for those events. We may have more chances to get something approved there.
Hey, did you think about submitting to ArgoCon as well as Kubernetes AI?
Yeah, Argo could be another one because we don't just work with integrating with Argo workflows.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be also an interesting one. I mean, I have to look at the program. If this is about Argo in general, all Argo, right? There is Argo workflows, there is Argo events, there is Argo CD. Those are all things of interest. I was more interested in showing off Argo workflows.
Yeah.
For the work we've done.
Okay, I think I might try to get IFOS in front of Cloud Native. I'm sorry, not Cloud Native. Yeah, Cloud Native University. I know it's more about education, but I mean it's academic, so maybe there's a tie-in there. Okay. Open Tofu, that's interesting, right? Terraform.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it looks like there is like a new community shaping up around Open Tofu, right?
Yeah, it's a catchy one. Okay. All right. So, and anything else that might be, some of this might be considered platform engineering. We were trying out something for WASM, but it didn't quite take off. But so maybe we'll try that again in the future, but that's always a hot spot. Oh, an app developer con. I wonder. All right. Thanks, Paolo. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, folks, so just do your diligence and consider if you've got any of the ones that you've listed here. If you own any of them, please take another look and see if there's another day that might be appropriate, day or 2. Okay. Anything new on KubeStellar development? We went over above the core Helm chart. there's a release pending. We'll have documentation in the official KubeStellar document site. Combined status is underway. PR making good progress there. Has not completed yet. I know that we've got some new instructions coming forward and a new website look and feel. So maybe that's something that at this point, I guess maybe Kevin can allude to since we didn't cover it earlier.
Oh, I'm already unmuted. Sure. Thanks to some diligent work by Mike Spreitzer, we now have a staging server for changes as we develop the website. There is both an issue and a CR open on the changes, and it is not beautiful yet. I will warn you that in advance because I'm deep in the style sheets to fix some of the menus. But if you want to look at it, I've just put a link to the staging server with the latest "what are we trying to do" code in the chat.
All right, and I saw you had a few more links up here.
Yep. And I'll have to fix that one, obviously.
Mhm.
That menu bar on the splash page has actually been the hardest thing to modify. Because it's
Yeah,
actually,
it makes other things move around. Yep.
it's buried down in the style sheet, but it is now under better control than it was.
Good.
So
Awesome. Yep, it's coming along. And for those out there in the IFOS program, the intern program for the summer, you know, this documentation and the site and how it's structured is fair game. So anything that you want to, and we've talked about, you know, opening issues against the KubeStellar organization. Anything you find in here, typos, grammatics, links that are broken, things that don't make sense in the way that they're organized. That's all open for the taking. Yes, Alex.
Everyone, this is Alex from IFOS. I've been looking at that and I have found some broken links already. I was going to open a PR on, not a PR, an issue on GitHub, but I did know about the website. So where should we open the issue? As I think there's two different resources.
the issue is, hang on, I just had it open. And I've lost it, of course. Is
I have it in front of you here.
yeah, it's 2163.
21.
Issue 2163.
Now, Alex, are you looking at the existing KubeStellar.io or the new one that is being worked on, Doc New V2?
I believe that is the existing one.
Okay.
I was going to post it to the existing one, but going through everything, I wasn't sure where I should open the issue. We
Yeah,
can
so
talk about that at the office hours today.
I'm not sure where. So, Kevin, what's your preference there? Do you want him to work against the new version or the old?
Let's work against the new because it's been massively changed. There's been a massive amount of restructuring. There's some missing interstitial files which are now written, and I started this from the viewpoint of a user who kept failing to install KubeStellar. So let's be clear where I started from.
Right. So I put the link in the chat for that issue. So go ahead and take a look at Doc New V2 and anything that you have that you want to add to that issue in terms of things that you found that are broken. And then once that does go live, then you'll be able to post issues and do PRs against it.
Perfect. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Andy.
Thank you. All right. Good. Okay, let's see. Anything else here we want to talk about? We have performance testing, so we've covered that. All right, I think that exhausts our agenda. Anybody else have anything they'd like to add or take away from the meeting? All right. Okay, thank you everybody for joining, and I look forward to talking to you again in 2 weeks. Franco, I'll invite you to this afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.